OK, our next guest is used to getting up early nearly every morning to present his breakfast radio show, but now he's turned author with a Bible for men to help us poor mortals return to being a real man. It is Christian O'Connell. Before we talk about this, you were out on tour with Coldplay. I can't believe you got a gig in their band. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
it was weird. I did Friday's radio show and then travelled with the band to their gig in Munich in Germany. And what an amazing crowd the Germans are. Seriously, between each song, they were just like this. And no one moves or pushes anybody else. They were like super polite, really quiet. So I think it must have been really hard for the band because there wasn't a lot of just shouting. And, you know, 15,000 German people singing Yellow. It sounded oddly sinister. It sounded more of a threat than a sort of love song. But, yeah, it was great fun.
And how was he? Did he get Chris? Was he on good form? Because he can be a bit...
He was. I don't know what you're talking about, Tim. He's a very easygoing guy. Yeah, no, he was good fun. Yeah, he was on good form.
I gave him his first ever radio interview when we used to work together on XFM, and I got him in and did the first one. And I kept going, "Oh, so you met at university, you guys?" And during one of the songs, he said, "Could you not talk about the university thing again? It's not very cool, is it?" But he's a top bloke, isn't he?
Yeah, very talented.
He writes good tunes. So when's that interview out, then? Can we hear it on the radio
yeah, in about 2 weeks' time. But he still can't dance. What is about men? You know, a lot of front singers. That's why Liam's good, because he stands there. He doesn't take the risk. Whereas if you see him legging it around the stage, it's not that geography teacher you used to see at the end of school disco, legging it around. He really can't dance.
How's your dancing?
I was going to say, is this in the book about dancing?
Yeah, it is. I don't think really... I don't know about you, Tim, but I think no man should be dancing unless he's drunk.
Well...
I disagree entirely. A man with rhythm is sexy, it's fun...
Yeah, that's right.
So you say
that no men... dancers...
No. Lots of men have a bit of rhythm, just need guided a little bit. And it's great,
true,
very attractive.
When you're a sober man and you're watching another man who's sober go on the dance floor, all the sober men are going, idiot.
Yeah.
Why is he not even drunk?
That's where the men should be at the side.
He's the real man. The man on the dance floor is the real man.
There's this brilliant thing, right, that Simon always laughs about. I had to dance recently on my internet thing.
Good God.
And I was sober, and you watch the first 30 seconds of the dance, I'm absolutely mortified.
You
I'm
are.
saying that dancing like that. It's all over the internet.
But then, you know what? You actually got into it, and it looked embarrassing, but it was fun for us.
Anyway, let's talk about what are you doing? What are you doing? You're reinventing the man. Why did you decide to reinvent the man in the Men Commandments?
The Men Commandments.
Well, I think just like you two were saying about it is a sort of confusing time about what a real man should do and what he shouldn't do, and sort of the metrosexual, the lad is dead now, and it's like, you know, it's a confusing time to be a man, and there are loads of books about women for women, about their experience, which is great. And then I saw my wife was reading this book called How to Kill Your Husband, and really enjoying it, going, this is such a funny book. And there couldn't be a book called How to Kill Your Wife. It'd be too violent, people get upset. And I'm thinking, these days, if you see a man in a TV advert, he's always an idiot. He doesn't know how to use the dishwasher.
Actually,
he's just this sort of slack sort of fool. Well, not all of us are like that. Some of us are, but not all of us.
So what's the new genre then? We've gone through the real men, sort of Neanderthal, we've got metrosexuality. What's next in the Men Commandments? What are you saying?
See, that's what I'm not really sure what is next. So when I watch, you know, Strictly Come Dancing, that's a bad example to men because they're now under a lot of pressure. They're watching where they have the half going, we should have some... My wife wants us to have dancing lessons. I'm not going to do that. I've got to take a stand for men. Men shouldn't be dancing sober. Mark Ramprakash, all these guys on there, they're letting down the man race. It's wrong.
No, they're bigging up the male race.
Every man's nightwear when your wife goes to you.
Come on.
Come on. Do you fancy doing salsa? You're like, what?
Oh, no.
Back.
Oh, come on.
Forward. Shrapnel.
So, come on, tell us the crux of this, then. So it's about getting back to taking your power back? You say women in control too much?
No, I think, you know, I'm a married guy who married 10 years. I'm happy for my wife. My wife is in charge of everything. My dad came round. We moved about 6 months ago. My dad came round and said, where's the immersion? You know what dads are like? As soon as they get a new house, these radiators work right, do they, son? And I'm like, I don't know. Where's the immersion? I'm like, Sarah, where? My dad's like, you don't know. What kind of man are you?
Yeah.
So I think it's right for a man to be like, I am the get a man in. I've tried DIY, things have broken. I short-circuited the whole house once just trying to change a light bulb. I'm terrible at that. I'm OK with that. It doesn't bother me getting a man in. I just think it's, right now, it's a sort of, it's weird how it's supposed to be.
So are men in crisis, then? Is this become a...
See, women laugh when they say this.
We do. I'm having a good time today.
More men. Yes, we are in crisis, that's right. See, look, she's laughing.
I'm enjoying this immensely.
So you think we've lost our way?
Yep. Seriously, right, there's a true fact. In about 125,000 years' time, there'll be no men.
Roughly.
There will be no men. The male chromosome is becoming weakened by Strictly Come Dancing.
It's the sequence that do it. It's the reflection.
Throws and air fresheners, they are polluting testosterone. They're turning us into kind of no men, metrosexuals.
I'll tell you what, though, I was at a party with Matt Dawson, and he, you know, because he was on Strictly Come Dancing, and he was spinning all the girls around.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but they were all queuing up to dance
See, we
with
love
him.
it.
They're going, that's rubbish. That's really good. But they were queuing up, literally, to dance with him, and he was standing there wiggling around, throwing them over his head.
See, that's not right. See, Jack Bauer wouldn't behave like that. You wouldn't see James Bond doing that. You know, see, it is
I think you would,
actually.
I'm sure James Bond is a good dancer.
No, not the new Bond. Because I think, you know, if you want to see how men have changed now, you know, he went through that kind of like in the 60s when Sean was Bond.
Yeah.
You know, he literally just sort of slept his way around the world, probably, you know, with various sexually transmitted diseases. And then you had, Dalton, Timothy Dalton, who was a lot more sensitive. And now you got Daniel Craig, who was stitched up by that woman. He was almost crying in the last movie. It's kind of like, men are, you know, if James Bond's confused, then, you know, what hope is there for us?
Right, so you talk about the genetic differences between men and women, which I think is quite a funny bit of the book. And there are, what, 73, you say here? 73, 78?
78.
78.
Yes.
And you've then turned that on its head and talked about things like why genetically men have control, the remote control, etc.
Yeah, I mean, this is a true fact. You know, someone to discover there are 78 genetic differences between men and women. We all know they're different. There are things we do similar as well, you know. And but there are, like, my wife is quite happy to spend all day with one of her best friends. And then I don't understand how in the evening then she can get back on the phone to talk to her for another hour. And, like, what could there possibly be to talk about? You haven't covered in 8 hours. Women love to talk, don't they? And they find dreams interesting. I dreamt my wife goes, I had this amazing dream last night. I'm zoning out. Dreams are not interesting. It's just gobbledygook. I bet you find dreams interesting.
I do, yeah.
So there you go.
I was speaking through this in the makeup room going, yeah, and what's the problem? What's the problem? Is it not just, you know, celebrating the differences in the sex?
What I struggle with, Christian, is man-on-man greetings these days. It used to be like a good old firm handshake we met. Now you've got high fives and man hugs.
No,
come on, you and Simon have got all that man hugging thing
he
going on.
tries to he tries to do that to me, and I find it embarrassing. But he does try and do the man hugs. He does, and I find it embarrassing.
Well, what there needs to be is Gordon Brown needs to step up, and there needs to be legislation so we all know what's acceptable.
Just a handshake.
Well, no, I'm quite happy for a little kind of half hug. Tony Soprano does that. No, you should. You fear something. Why fear it?
You know what? Men that are happy with their maleness are happy to hug.
Because how hard do you do the hug?
I think it's semi-hard, Tim. If we have anything more than that, if he's too hard, then you've got to back off straight away.
Yeah, and too soft as well is the problem.
Oh, dear.
And then they do the thing where they do that on your back. They do a little tap.
Right. You do that to a child who's winded. You don't do that to a grown man.
It's not ideal. It's not ideal.
Oh.
Good. All right. Christian will be staying with us and take your emails along with the boys from Boyzone. Now he's put himself up there on the pedestal as king of the man. I imagine you should send emails in asking for what is the correct procedure for a man to do.
Yes.
Christian will have all your answers. Get your emails coming in bbc.co.uk/food. Christian knows.
Christian knows the men commandments. Very good.